Welcome to Shortbook Overviews. Today we're going to dive into a book that might just completely change how you see, well, everything, your place in the entire universe. We're tackling one of the biggest questions you can possibly ask. Why are we here? Why does life exist at all? And we're going to explore this incredible book that finds the answer not in biology, but deep within the fundamental laws of physics itself. So here's the puzzle, right? It's something that has stumped scientists for ages. On one hand, you have this fundamental law of the universe, the second law of thermodynamics, which basically says everything falls apart. Everything trends towards disorder. And yet, just look around you. Look at us. Life creates this breathtaking complexity. It builds things up. This isn't just some tiny little exception to the rule. No, this is a full-blown cosmic contradiction. Okay, so to get to the bottom of this, here's our plan. First, we'll unpack that contradiction. Then we'll get into the real driving force of the universe, something called a gradient. After that, we'll see how that force actually causes complexity and ultimately leads to life itself, which is going to completely rewrite our cosmic story. All right, first step, let's really dig into this law of physics that life seems to be totally breaking. The usual way we hear this explained is that the universe is on a one-way trip to chaos. Think about a hot cup of coffee that always cools down, or a sandcastle that gets washed away by the tide. The universe, we're told, just prefers things to be simple, uniform, and disorganized, which makes the insane, intricate, organized structure of even a single living cell seem, well, completely impossible. But what if we've been looking at the second law all wrong? What if it's not really about a preference for chaos at all? So the huge insight here is that the old school way of thinking about this stuff imagined everything happening inside a sealed box, just slowly losing heat. But that's not our universe, is it? Not even close. Our universe is dynamic. It's got these massive amounts of energy constantly moving from really hot places, like our sun, to really cold places, like the emptiness of deep space. This difference in energy between a hot source and a cold sink, that's called a gradient. And this, it turns out, is the real engine of the universe. You can see it on a small scale, like the temperature difference between your warm skin and the cool air, and on a cosmic scale, between the blazing sun and us here on Earth. And this leads us to a powerful new rule. You've heard that nature abhors a vacuum, right? Well, it turns out nature absolutely hates these energy imbalances even more. The universe will do literally whatever it can. It'll employ any trick in the book to break down these gradients and spread all that energy out. So if the universe's main job is to break down these energy gradients, how exactly does it do it? Well, the answer is where things get really interesting, because it turns out the universe has a powerful motive to get organized. Now, the simplest, most basic way to reduce a gradient is just to let the energy flow, like heat radiating off a hot rock, or a ball just rolling down a hill. It works, sure, but it's not very fast, it's not particularly efficient. This is where the universe gets creative. It figured out that by building complex, ordered structures, it could break down these energy gradients way, way more effectively. So structure, it turns out, isn't some random accident. It's a tool the universe uses to get a job done. These are called dissipative structures. They're basically patterns that emerge for the specific purpose of dissipating or breaking down energy. And once you know what to look for, you see them everywhere. A whirlpool, with that complex spiral, it drains a tub much faster than water just sloshing around. And a hurricane? That's a monstrously complex system, and it moves heat from the warm ocean to the cold upper atmosphere with terrifying efficiency. This right here is a famous chemical reaction. You just mix some simple chemicals together, and under the right conditions, they spontaneously organize themselves into these beautiful, complex, pulsing spirals. Now, why would they do that? To break down the chemical energy gradient in the beaker more effectively. Order literally emerges from non-order, all by itself, as a consequence of the second law. And all of this brings us to the most complex, the most creative, and by far the most effective gradient buster of them all, life itself. So here's the crucial point, the big takeaway. Life doesn't fight the second law. It doesn't violate that flow of energy from the sun out into space. No way. Life is the second law's greatest ally. It harnesses that flow, and it breaks down the solar gradient with just an unmatched, breathtaking skill. Just think about the entire biosphere of our planet as one giant, planetary-scale dissipative structure. You've got plants using photosynthesis to grab that high-quality sunlight. Then that energy gets passed all the way through food webs, from the plants to the herbivores to the carnivores, and at every single step, metabolism is breaking that energy down to power everything we do, moving, growing, even thinking. And what's the final byproduct of all this activity? Low-grade, useless heat, which just radiates away into the cold vacuum of space. Every single thing we do is part of this grand cosmic cascade of energy. So let's wrap this all up by taking a look at how this idea completely flips our perception of our place in the universe on its head. We get to move from a story of cosmic struggle to one of cosmic purpose. I mean, in the old view, we were just a fluke, right? An improbable accident fighting against the inevitable decay of the universe. But in this new story, life is what the universe does. It's a fundamental expression of physics. It's a natural and maybe even an inevitable outcome of energy flowing through matter for billions of years. And this really gets to the heart of it. Life isn't a thing. It's a process. It's a verb. It's a pattern that the universe uses to get from hot to cold, from the super concentrated energy of the sun to the diffuse energy of empty space in the most interesting and complex way possible. If there's one single thing you take away from this, let it be this. Your existence, in all its messy, beautiful complexity, is not an accident that's fighting against the laws of physics. You are a direct result of the most fundamental laws of thermodynamics at work. You are a feature, not a bug. Which leaves us with one final, absolutely mind-bending thought to ponder. If life is a physical strategy for the cosmos to dissipate energy, and if complexity is the key to that whole strategy, what more complex structures is the universe trying to build right now?